Welcome to the Fight Card Podcast. From news, reviews, and interviews, follow up. Fight.
Hello, everybody. Spider here once again. The Fight Card Podcast, of course, coming to you from San Antonio, Texas. My guest, Gage, the Menace, Harper, my man. Of course, you're in H-Town, bro. You're out there in Houston.
Yes, sir. In Houston, Texas.
And then, of course, I saw you a couple weeks back, man. We were actually in Port Lavaca fighting that storm. You know, we won, of course. But
Happy strap.
yes, sir. And you were out there working, man. I mean, what was the deal with that, man? I mean, did they just ask you to volunteer, or what happened there?
Nah, man. I hit up Peter, asking to work, because after this fighting career, man, I don't want to be fighting forever until I'm 40.
Nice.
I want to be a promoter, so let me put one foot in the door already. Learn while I'm young, still in the game. Learn everything I can, so after I do retire, I can start my company and my promotion just like that.
Bro, that's actually pretty brilliant, man. Because you unfortunately not everybody can fight forever, man. But the fact that you're thinking ahead of time, I mean, that's pretty cool, man. I can appreciate that, man.
Sure.
And just as far as up the top of your head, dude, I mean, what's the name of your promotion? What were you thinking about naming it?
Dude, that's 10, 15 years in the future. I haven't even thought about it, man.
No, it'll come, man. And I was going to say, too, don't say it here because somebody might take it, bro.
Oh, yeah, for real.
But, yeah, man. But, of course, man, I mean, you are an amateur mixed martial artist, bro. When you started this, because as of right now, I mean, you are, 21 years old?
21.
And when you started, I mean, of course, it was in 2022. Was MMA like your first combat sport, or were you boxing before, wrestling?
No, I did like Taekwondo growing up for about 8 years, but it was like not like sport combat Taekwondo. That took a break from that. I played football through middle school and high school, and then during COVID is when I started training. Okay,
and I mean, what was the reason for training, man? I mean, was it something were you watching fights on TV and you're like, man, I think I want to do this?
Well, I was always interested in sport. I was 7 years old. I remember Clay Guida. I think that was the first fight I ever seen. It just happened on TV. I was a big WWE fan growing up. Nice. And, we were scrolling through TV and we saw Clay Guida. I was like, holy cow. I'm like 7 years old. I said, I got to do that. And my grandma was like, you're not going to do that. You're going to be all bust up and ugly. And, fast forward 10 years later, I started training at 17. I started training because, everything was shut down, like literally everything. But the only thing that was open was like martial arts gyms. Yeah. Because martial arts gyms didn't give a damn about
the whole underground thing, man. I know a lot of people were, sneaking out and getting their training in, man. So
yeah. So and then my gym, we're literally like in the ghetto. And we train in a storage unit with no AC, so we're not fancy, nothing like that. So we didn't, we did not care. We just went out there, and that's how I started training because we weren't doing nothing. So,
man, and I was gonna say too, man, because when it comes to training, everybody thinks, okay, I'm gonna get physically ready, but you got to get mentally ready also, man. I mean, training in that heat, did that help?
Oh, dude, I love training in the heat. I hate training in the cold. I hate training with AC, like. Training in the heat is the best thing ever, like, because you go to fight day and you feel like you can go forever because you've been through the heat, especially, and then when you go to the sauna cut weight, you're used to that already. You're used to being 115-degree heat box that's in a storage unit.
Man, and I was going to say too, man, because, I mean, as far as your weight class, bro, because you do compete at 125, correct?
35 now. 35. I was at 25 for like most of my career, but dude, I was 19 years old. Yeah. I just can't keep on doing that, bro. Like within 2 years, my body's changed. The weight cut changed my body as well.
Yeah. No, you see, and that's what I was gonna ask because I mean, as you get older, man, it just gets harder. I mean, some people are able to do it; they got a science behind it, but for the most part, man, I mean, you're still growing yourself, I mean, right now you're 21. I mean, it's like, I mean, you could end up fighting at 205 for all we know,
Jeez, I hope not, man. That means I let myself go.
Yeah. And bro, let me ask you because where you train at, it's actually next level training.
Yes, sir.
And as far as bodies, man, what kind of as far as training partners do you have out there?
Man, we got about 7 active fighters. The
Nice.
gym started from nothing. Like I think I was the fourth active fighter to start. But I was there like before when our guy before he even debuted. So our gym is still relatively new. We've only been open since about 2019 or so, 2018 or 2019.
Oh, damn. Okay.
So still fairly new. We got 7 active guys. It's a pretty small gym. We
And
got
of
one.
course, I mean, you pretty much started with the gym, right?
Yeah, basically.
Sweet.
But so we got one female. She's a 125er. We got a 25er. Me as a 35er. A couple 45ers, 55, and then we got and 70 now.
Okay, okay.
But those are actives, and then we got some up and comers coming up soon for MMA, and we're also a boxing gym, so we got a lot of boxers as well.
Oh man, that's nice. And the fact that you got bodies to throw around and vice
Mhm.
versa, I mean, that's
For
always
sure.
good because I mean, you guys gotta. It's basically like if you don't have a fight coming up, I mean, you're helping your teammates train. I mean, just to get them ready. So it works both ways, right?
Yep.
Man, and of course, I mean, we mentioned earlier, man, we were out there in Port Lavaca. I mean, when it comes to the promotion, because you have competed for Fury, I mean, you're going back to Fury amateur series, but when you started, I mean, obviously, it's a local promotion. I mean, it is based out of Houston. I mean, was that kind of like the thing for you to fight locally, or did it just happen?
What at Fury?
Right.
Uh, my coach goes way back with Eric Garcia.
Yeah.
So when I just started training, like him and Eric go way back, so they know each other. And so it was pretty easy to get on a card for my debut.
No, and I mean, what do you prefer, bro? I mean, do you prefer to fight locally or away from
No,
home?
I do like to travel. Like I fought in Victoria, Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas before. I love to travel when I fight, but I like to have all my supporters around me,
Yeah.
that could travel and be in the Houston fights. Just bring a big crowd full of 30, 40, 50 people that are just cheering for you when you're fighting.
No, no, for sure, man. And of course, I mean, you were training today. So, I mean, since the fight got announced, I mean, were you already training? Because obviously, I mean, I brought it up when I saw you out there in Port Lavaca. I mean, I didn't know you had a fight coming up, but I mean, it was something that wasn't like in contract yet, or what was going on there?
No, I was training. Uh, no, me and Eric Garcia had talked about my future after my 125 championship loss. And I told him, I was like, man, I don't care what anybody else thinks. I still believe I am the number one guy at 135.
Yeah,
Dylan Aguilar was holding the 135 belt. He went pro.
yeah.
Okay. I believe I am the number one guy now. Even after a loss, I still believe I'm that guy at number one.
No, no. I mean, and obviously, I mean, you're getting another shot, right? I mean, you're going
Mhm.
back in there. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure he agrees with you. Now, this opponent, I mean, is he local as well? Is he from Houston?
Yeah, he's from Houston. He trains at Main Street, so pretty close.
And how does that work? Because I mean, I know I started training back in 1999, bro. I know you can't think way far back, but when I started in the game, there wasn't that many gyms, as far as there was a lot of traditional martial artists, but it was we were pretty much like one of two maybe at that time here in San Antonio. But I mean, Houston's always been big. Houston's
Mm.
always been like ahead of the race when it comes to the MMA training, and I mean, it's a big city, so obviously you guys have a lot of gyms around around the whole community. But I mean, for you, like when you ended up going to that one gym, I mean, was there something else? Was that like the first one that you went to and just
First,
fell in love with it?
first ever gym I ever stepped into, and then the last gym I'll ever be a part of. That's my home. That's my family.
Nice. No, 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 for sure, man. And I was going to ask you about this too, because I mean, a lot of fighters. I mean, of course, once you start going pro, I mean, there's bodies that you want to invite. You invite fighters over just to help you cross train. Do you guys do that now, or is
Yeah,
this
yeah,
just
yeah.
you guys?
All the time. We actually had some people from a different gym come
Nice, man.
today and get some work in. I got some good work in today
Oh,
from
sweet.
them.
No, yeah, man, and it makes sense, dude. I mean, I know, like I mentioned earlier. I mean, when you first started, it was kind of like unheard of. Like we didn't do that. It was just
Mhm.
us, and we had enough bodies, but it was you know what? It's like you plateau after a while, and it's like you get used to everybody's fight stance, um, when the style, So you want to bring somebody else in that you don't know, and just go from there, man.
Yeah, the sport now, you could fight somebody and then you could go train with them regularly, cross train all the
Yeah.
time. That's just how the sport is now.
No, yeah, it has to be, bro. I mean, I know a lot of people, shun it and they don't want to do it, but it's just, if the sport's gonna grow, man, it's gonna have to. I mean, it's like I tell people, like when it becomes as an amateur fighter, I mean, you want to get that experience. You fight other locals. There's bragging right. There's a little bit of not so much bad blood, but it's just business, But when you start going pro, or even after the loss, you're like, hey, you know what, man? Like, let's train together, bro. I mean, let's.
Mm.
He's got another fight coming up, vice versa. He can help you, you help him. It just makes sense, man.
Yes, sir.
And bro, and of course, when it comes to this fight, man, because I mentioned earlier, getting mentally ready. What do you do? Is there something that you do yourself to get mentally prepared?
The only thing you really can do to be mentally prepared is put your everything into the gym and make sure you're doing everything outside the gym correctly. Like if you know you're slacking, your mentality is gonna be off going to the fight. You'll be like, "Damn, I know I didn't train that hard. I could have trained harder." Then at that point, you're fucked up. I
Oh
know
yeah,
fully. I train my ass off every single fight, so I don't go in there with no nerves, no nothing, because I trust everything that I've been through.
nice, bro. I like that, man. I mean, and of course, man. I mean, I hate to bring it up, but I mean, this last fight that you had, you took an unfortunate loss. What was your mindset going into the fight? I mean, was it the whole weight cut, or what happened there?
Dude, I lost. I didn't have no fear, no nothing. The only thing I knew was he can't stand with me, and if he takes me down, I gotta fucking fight from there.
Yeah. No.
But it was just like his ground game is dangerous. I'm not nobody's. I can't lie about that. His ground game is nasty. So I knew what I was getting myself into with that fight, but I never had no like, oh shit, I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. No, like I was gonna. If something was gonna happen, I was gonna knee him when he came in for a shot. But that obviously didn't happen. But
No, and then it's like they always say, it is mixed martial arts, man. So you really don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, things change. I mean,
mm,
it's all about timing. It's all about rhythm. I mean, and any mishap, and of course, I mean, the other guy takes advantage of it, or and it happens. So of course, but I mean, again, bro, I mean, this is your amateur career. I mean, it's all about experience. I mean, of course, you go in there knowing that, or not wanting to lose. Of course, you want to win, but
mm.
is your mentality like, okay, you know what, let me just keep getting this experience and keep going up?
Yeah, like as soon as I got upstairs, bro, like I was the last guy on our team to fight, and the first thing I was like, I was crying to my coach. I was like, I need a belt. I need a belt. And he's telling me, he's like, man, he's like, that's not even nothing. He's like, look at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is the UFC.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
But
man. I mean,
I'm trying to win a belt right now, and then but the UFC is always going to be the bigger picture. But at that moment, and still right now, I won a belt, and I'm going to get a belt.
yeah, boy. And of course, I mean, this fight is coming up. I mean, like we mentioned earlier, man, the fight posters right here. For
Yeah.
those watching, it is going to be on a Friday. I know when Fury usually comes here to San Antonio, it's usually on a Sunday. So every time they do a Friday bout, it kind of throws me off, man. But
Yeah, man. I fought. I've only fought once on a Friday at Fury, and that was in Dallas. I typically don't like the Friday fights because it kind of throws off my rhythm from Sundays. This is a different thing I gotta get adjusted to, but comes with the challenge.
no, you see, and that's one of the things I always ask people, because even like Bellator MMA used to come through here a lot, in San Antonio, and the guys, it's kind of like it's on TV, and even with Fury, man, it happens to where you're the main event for the undercard, and it goes on too long, and they're like, hey, you gotta wait till after the fight because we gotta go live, and so it's like now the fighters are like, damn, I already warmed up, now I gotta cool down, and
Warm up again. Yeah.
yeah, man. So it's one of those things. I mean, it's happened a lot, bro. Like I've been covering this sport for years, man, and the things that go backstage with you guys, it's like people don't see it, but it's like, man, it's timing. It's just, I was at Bellator for one fight, and the fighter's just chilling, man. We're talking, and he comes in, and the guy's like, "Hey, be ready in 5 minutes," and he's like, "What?" Like, they told me in an hour. And they were like, nah, man, you're next, And so he was like, shit. So he had to get up and start, cracking in, man. But it was just, he won the fight, man. But I mean, you could tell he was just still a little stiff, going in there.
It happened my first amateur fight. I was the first fight, my first Ami, and I was wrapped up and everything. I had maybe had one hand wrapped, and they're like rules meeting. So it's the same rule. I've been through this 10 times. I've been through this 10 times officially. Yeah. I know. Well, now I have, but but they just drag out the rules so long, like just like dumb stuff that we should know as an athlete. Yeah. And so, as soon as they get out, they ask me, "Are you ready?" I still got one hand. I got to get wrapped, and I haven't even warmed up yet. And they're like, "You're next." Like you have like I'm flustered. I'm trying to hurry up with this hand wrap. Put my gloves on. I get a 3 to 5 minute warm up, and then they keep me downstairs for about 5 to 10 minutes before they even called out my name. I was like, okay, so what was the point in rushing me?
Oh man, damn, bro. You see, yeah, man. I mean, there's a lot of mishap, dude. I mean, of course, and it's not so much the promotion, but it's the cards that are given, because a lot of times, scheduling, bro. But it does happen, man. Like I said earlier, But I mean, the fact that you're experiencing this, the fact that your experience is going outside your comfort zone, coming to San Antonio, going to Victoria, and fighting outside your city. I mean, it's going to prepare you, because you know what, like you said earlier, like once you go pro and you go to the UFC, I mean, you're not going to be fighting close to home. You're going to be fighting, outside the state, outside the country, perhaps. You don't know, man.
Exactly.
And of course, man, I mean, you're setting your sights high as far as in the combat sports world, man. So I mean, UFC, of course, like you said, I mean, that is a Super Bowl of MMA. I mean, that's where everybody wants to go. Have you considered fighting outside the country, man? Has that ever popped in your head?
Yeah, and like I want to make a lot of money fighting. I don't want to be paid chump change and be on a prelim of a UFC event when I could fucking be main card or main eventing at one championship, and fight in Asia and make way more money,
Oh yeah, bro.
But some of those guys, even at one, can compete in the UFC at a very high level. So, still,
Yeah. No, for sure, man. It would definitely be an experience, dude. I know way back when, especially like fighters from here in Texas, man. I mean, we used to have quite a few that they would fight outside the country, because back then, I mean, social media wasn't around, man. So they would fight outside the country for the experience, come back and still claim to be undefeated, because nobody would watch their fights. And it wasn't until like years later, like you're looking at their records and you're like, oh man, this guy, they claimed him to be undefeated in 3 different promotions, and it's like he was losing in Russia, he was losing in Japan.
And now, all that early stuff on Tapology from like 2000 until 2010 is all wrong, dude.
Yeah.
They don't even have promotion names on it. It just says Texas Regional or Louisiana Regional. Can't even get names on them,
No, you see, and that's, I mean, honestly, man, that's the way it was, I mean, for us, starting off, I mean, we didn't even have a cage, we used to fight on wrestling mats. We used to go Battle at the Coast, in Corpus. We used to go to, Talon Fight, championship out there in McAllen. And this is like inside, but fighting inside a boxing ring was probably like the biggest thing for us. We were like, oh shit, we're going to fight in the ring, because most of the time it was open hand, pancration, it was before the state allowed, close fists with 4-ounce gloves, man. So this is like way back when.
Yeah.
But, I mean, of course, it evolved. And let me ask you this, because of course there's promotions out there, man, and there's some that I'm not a fan of. I mean, when it comes to like 2-on-1, one guy fighting 2 women, it gets crazy. It's like a circus, bro. But what are your thoughts on something like that, man?
That's like that's where you see that stuff, like in Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah.
And like I've looked it up. That stuff is pure for entertainment. It doesn't go on no record. Yeah. It's not on no record database. It's purely just for like entertainment.
Yeah.
That's something you watch with your buddies when like you're either like high or you're drinking, and just have a laugh,
No, for sure, man. And I mean, it's not sanctioned. So yeah, like you said, I mean, a lot of the fighters out there, not all of them, but a lot of them, they're juiced up to the gills, man, because they don't care. They're like, dude, take whatever, they're just wanting to go out there and not lose. Mm-hmm. But what about other promotions, man? I mean, of course, slap fighting is one of them. Dana White seems to be real big behind it. I mean, there's a bunch of them, man. But I mean, of course, something like that. I mean, it's outside the box, right? I mean, you're just concentrating on MMA, right?
Yeah. Oh, I ain't doing none of that. I ain't letting nobody slap me. But no, I am. I have one amateur boxing fight. I definitely want to still compete in boxing.
Nice.
When I do turn pro, I still, say like I'm not training. I'm taking about, a break from MMA. I still want to fight boxing.
Dude, I mean, and it's been done. There's a fighter out of Corpus. The guy fights him. MMA. He does boxing. He does karate combat. I mean, oh, there you go, man. I lost you for a split second,
No,
but you're back.
we're good.
No, but yeah, so yeah, as long as you schedule it and it doesn't interfere with your goal, why not, bro? I mean, you want to
Yeah.
stay busy. For the most part, I don't want to say boxing pays a lot more, but in some occasions they might. Once you go pro.
The highest you get paid way more than MMA.
No, yeah,
But
yeah.
those very low level boxing get paid like $100 to show.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You can get paid $600 to show at low MMA.
Yeah.
$500 to show at low MMA.
Oh yeah, dude. I've seen those paychecks, man. I mean, I've managed fighters back in the day. I used to work with them, and yeah, dude, it's just it's gotten better. I would say, man. I mean, I used to have guys back when fighting for like $50, bro. And it was because it was a big promotion, or it seemed to be a big promotion, and it's like, going out there and getting your ass whooped for $50. It's like, well, but I mean, back then everybody trying to get to the big show, man.
Yeah.
And as far as support, man, I mean, you mentioned, you are local to Houston, of course. When it comes to the fights, I mean, you mentioned earlier, you usually get like 40, 50 people strong, dude. I mean, is your support pretty tight? I mean, is it just your teammates or your family?
Well, man, like, I didn't have a good career starting out. I started off 0-2. I had like a few close people, came to my fights. My family didn't start coming until maybe my fifth fight, just because there was, my dad had passed away early on in my career. And so my mom was taking care of my dad my first two fights. So, I really have much support. But now, like since the team has definitely grown, I got really close to my God family.
Nice.
They support me a lot. I got a lot of sponsors that come to my fights.
Yeah.
Family, friends come. My teammates' families that know me.
Sweet.
So it's just a big crowd. I remember my ninth amateur fight. Oh man, it was bumping in there. It was loud.
Yeah.
That was a crazy fight that I had.
You see, and that's kind of what I asked you earlier. I mean, if you were more comfortable fighting outside the city or at home, because some guys, some fighters, I mean, they don't want to fight locally because they're like, man, I don't want to have to see, like as far as like family or they lose, you know what I mean? Like they kind of like, man, like they don't want them to see that. But I mean, for you, it's entertainment, right? I mean, you want to go out there and showcase your skills. I mean, so like between the fight, I mean, once the cage closes, man, do you ever like notice people outside the cage when you're fighting?
I don't know where anybody's at. The only people I know that I can see is my coaches. I will before the fight start or before I fight, I'll look over the balcony and see where my fam and my friends are sitting at and stuff.
Right.
I'll see, okay, they're sitting there, okay.
Sweet.
But when I walk out, I don't give them no looks.
Yeah.
I don't like to go downstairs before I fight. I don't like to talk to nobody that I know unless you're my teammate or my coach before I fight. Like I don't want to be with my friends, my girlfriend. I don't want to be with my family before I fight. Just let me be with my fight family.
Yeah,
that's been there for me the last eight weeks, pushing my ass.
Well, yeah,
But,
man. I mean,
yeah, I don't, dude. Only person I see in the cage is my coach, my two coaches that's in there, and the ref and my opponent.
No, man. And the reason I'm asking is because I mean, covering fights like for years, bro. Like I would see, for example, there was a fighter. He's coming out and he's all like revved up, like yelling and going crazy. And his sister or somebody comes up to him and like, hey, and hugs him, and like right there and then, dude, like you saw his like, she killed his vibe, dude. And I noticed it, and I was like, oh damn. And so when they went to the face off, you could just tell in his face he was like thrown off, bro. And I was just like, wow, dude. Like I mean. he wasn't expecting it, and I mean that's kind of why I was asking, because it's like some people are okay with it, but I mean others, it's like you say, you just want to get ready, be there mentally prepared, just go in there, go to war, and then afterwards, say go hang out with the family.
Yeah, so man, I love my grandma to death. Love my grandma to death. She just started going to my fights.
Oh,
My
nice, bro.
she started her my ninth fight was her first fight she watched live, and oh man, that lady's something else. And then uh, she's always trying to like talk to me before the fight.
Yeah.
Like my 10th fight, I'm over the balcony and they were kind of sitting like where I walk out and where the
Oh,
balcony's at. And I'm literally about to walk out. I'm just waiting upstairs, waiting. She ends up seeing me and turns around, waving at me. I'm like,
oh
oh,
man,
Nanny, you
bro.
can't be doing that. I'm in my zone. I'm in my zone. But
Man,
my other family, like, no, it was like my mom, my girlfriend, like, everybody else.
yeah,
I'm there. Like, let me do me.
yeah,
Don't even act like I'm there. Just if you
yeah.
see me, okay, cool. I don't talk to. I won't text my mom. I don't text nobody as soon as I get up there, upstairs.
No, for sure, man. And that's kind of one of the things. I mean, I've been cage side for so many promotions, man. And every time, like, and I would know, I'm here from here in Texas, bro. So half the fighters that would compete, I knew through the fight game. And it's just like, I will never cross that, because I always felt like, man, I don't want to throw them off or be the reason that, they don't go in there mentally prepared, but, it's like I would just freaking go away for them to, take some shots, walk away. And I think the worst for me, man, I was actually in Houston for a promotion. I forgot which one it was, bro. But there's two guys fighting, and one of them, I mean, he shouldn't have been there, man. Like he got thrown against the cage pretty bad, and he couldn't get up. And he's got him pinned against the cage. The guy's looking at me, and the guy just starts wailing, dude. And I'm making eye contact with that guy, and I was like, fuck, So I had to like turn my camera away, because I was just like, damn. So finally, the corner threw in the towel, and it was pretty bad.
Oh man.
Yeah, but that's the thing too, man. Because I've been case side where I've had to like let the ref know, like, hey, that guy, he's stopping, bro, or he's, because the ref is behind them, and the guy's over here, like, and I'm like, dude, like, check this out, and they stop the fight. The coach would get mad, and I'm just like, bro, like, that was it. He was in a bad spot.
Your dude was tapping, bud.
Man, yeah, man. I mean, it's just even like I was able to do commentary for the fights, Tap or Scrap 9, man, and I enjoy it. I'm not like I don't know everything, bro. I mean, I'm an old dinosaur. I know moves when we were training, but I mean, it's evolved. It's gotten better. It's gotten sharper. The grappling aspect's gotten freaking through the roof. Like, I see stuff and I'm like, crap, dude. Like, it's just like, next level. No pun intended, right? But next level shit. And it's just like, you see
Hey,
it. And
that's
you're
our
like,
gym slogan, bro. It's
yeah.
next level shit. Yeah, for real.
No, and I saw your mouthpiece and I was like, oh, hell yeah, dude. That's dope, man. You have a mouth guard sponsor?
Nah, they didn't sponsor me.
Oh,
They're supposed to make me a mouthpiece though for this fight, but we'll see.
nice. No, man. And I know, I mean, when it comes to sponsorships, I used to deal with a lot of sponsors for fighters, bro. Some of them in the UFC, man. And it's gotten tough, dude. Like, in the beginning, it was pretty, companies were throwing, a couple thousand, dude. Like, they were paying. And, once the whole Tapology, took over, and now Venom, Reebok, then Venom has kind of killed everything, because now you can't walk out there with nothing, So
Yeah, dude. I was like, I started getting sponsors after I think my 5th fight was when I started first getting sponsors. Um, I had it at one price for forever, and I was like, man, I'm fighting for a champion. This is my 2nd championship I'm fighting for. I need to up my prices. I'm gonna turn pro soon. I know I'm gonna lose some people,
yeah.
but I need to know what's best for me. And I up my prices. I had a couple loyal people, companies stay with me, and so go for the high dollar one, which I appreciate a lot.
No, for
While
yeah.
we're here on sponsors, let me shout them out.
Yes, sir.
Exclusive IV drip. Get your IV drip. Stay hydrated. Paradox Roofing, best roofing company out there. Go get your house roofs done. And Jits Up. That's why I be looking so fly when I walk out into the cage with my shorts and my shirt.
Nice, bro. And of course, and all these companies are local to you guys.
Yes, sir.
Nice, man. Yeah, dude, and that's great, bro. Because I mean, even back when, like I mentioned, dude. I mean, getting sponsors. I'll say this, and I'll get off subject a little bit. But when I was training myself, dude, and I started actually, I started a gym, or I started a class. I started teaching, and I started working at Academy Sports. Right. This was like, man, this was like 2004, maybe. And I used to work there part time. And like one day, I told my boss, and I said, "Hey, I have some guys. We're gonna go compete in Austin for grappling. We're looking for sponsors." And he's like, "Sponsors?" And I said, "Yeah, just people to help us with the fee." And he's like, oh, "Okay, well, how much do you need?" And I was like, "Well, there's 5 of us, and it's like 55 a person." And he's like, "Okay, well, go to so and so, and she'll write you a check." And I was like, "Oh shit," I just threw it out there just to see, man. And the boss loved me, dude. I was a hard worker, bro. So of course, um, he's like, "Hey, well, here's some shirts, here's some waters, water bottles, just give them to the guys and take some pictures." And I said, "Okay." So we get to Austin, bro, and it was the first Pro Cardella's first event for House and Gracie, right?
Mm.
And when we got there, like everybody's looking at us and with Academy sports shirts, and they're like, "Man, all y'all work at Academy?" And I said, "Nah, bro, just me." They sponsored us, and like it was unheard of, dude. Like people were like, "What do you mean they sponsored?" And I said, "Yeah, bro, like they paid, paid for the fee." And it was like I like I know people were doing it before, man, but I mean here in San Antonio, like I started getting a lot of local sponsors, bro, and it just kind of worked out, because I used to promote the hell out of them. And it's all about networking. They love what you do, and they respect you, and they'll throw in whatever they can. So
Yes, sir. One more sponsor I forgot.
yes, sir.
Paramedic services. Uh, my godparents' company.
Oh, nice.
Yes, sir. Be saving people's lives out here.
No, no, for sure, bro. And of course, when it comes to fights, because you say your grandma was at your ninth fight, correct?
Yeah, that was the first fight she went to.
And I mean, what was her mindset, man? I mean, did you talk to her before that? I mean, was she like kind of nervous, scared?
She watched it on TV and stuff. I don't know. That was like the toughest fight I had, man. That was a banger. So that was the first time anybody had really seen me get punched on like that. So I don't even know. I know she was just happy that I won.
And I was gonna say, man, did that motivate you? Were you kind of like, damn, I can't lose in front of grandma, man? So,
Man, I just can't lose in front of nobody. Imagine losing in front of your girl, man.
oh, yeah. No, man. And of course, man, I mean, when it comes to training, I mean, right now, I mean, the fight's been announced. So, how often are you training?
Every single day.
Damn, dude. And come the weekend, you still go out there and work out?
Yes.
Nice. Bro.
Maybe one rest day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Hold on. Give me a second, bro. Hold on. I'm sorry. The plug kind of seemed to got tangled. But yeah, man. But of course, when it comes to the gym, I mean, you mentioned, the gym's new. I mean, you guys have been at it for a minute. It was, I think you said they have boxing, they have MMA. I mean, for those watching and listening, I mean, what else do you guys have out there, man? I mean, as far as like kids classes, I mean, what else?
Yeah, we do offer a kids class. We do have a couple, kids. One kid was to fight tomorrow on a smoker. Had to pull out here his neck a little bit. But yeah, we do have a Tuesdays and Thursdays. We have a big kids class, pretty big kids class on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
And of course, for those watching again, I mean, when it comes to the classes, I mean, it's not necessarily for fighting, right? I mean, it's for self defense. It's for fitness.
Very self defense, man. I'm like a lot of these young boys and girls, man. You need to learn how to defend yourself. Like I find it crazy how some of these people are grown men, 20, 30, 40 years old. They don't know how to defend themselves. They can't fight. They can't do nothing. And you're grown. Like you can't protect your daughter. You can't protect your kids.
You see, and that's one of the things even now, because I was talking to my coworker the other day about it, and I told him, and I said, man, my biggest fear, like I don't train like I used to, man. I mean, I do work out a lot. I do a lot of body mechanics. I turned 50 like last week, and I'm just like, man, my thing is just I don't want to crumble, dude. I don't want to stop and then just go to shit. I want to be able to keep moving, because like you said, if I'm somewhere and something happens, I want to be able to at least move around. I don't want to just stand there and get my butt kicked, man. So, staying mobile, I mean, of course, but yeah, man, I agree, bro. I mean, for those kids out there, I mean, self defense, not just for the streets, but for school or wherever they may be, definitely got to be ready.
Exactly.
And let me ask you, bro, because you guys had a little mishap a couple weeks back, dude, with this freaking storm, dude. I mean, how did you guys do okay out there?
Dude, a tree landed on my car.
Oh, and then you bought a new vehicle.
I did buy a
Oh,
new
yeah.
vehicle. Yes, sir.
And was that because of the insurance, or how did that work?
Well, I was already planning on buying a new vehicle,
Oh, okay,
but the
okay.
insurance really helped me on that. Got a way better down payment than what I was gonna have.
No, and I saw that, and I was gonna say, man. I mean, once you get my age, bro, like you'll be happy when you buy a new washer and dryer, man. That makes your day, you know. But getting your vehicle, dude, of course, you know.
That was the first vehicle, I purchased on my own, man. I did have a little bit of help from, the insurance,
Yeah.
from my family as well. But, I'm making my payments on it, and I
Hell
did put
yeah.
some money as well for a down payment.
Well, I was
But
gonna say that the next best feeling is gonna be when you make that last payment, bro. You're gonna be like, done.
yes, it's over with.
Hell yeah, dude. And yeah, man. So of course the storm. I mean, I know people out there in Houston, man, and they were struggling. I mean, there was like power outages. And Houston it seems to be like, I mean, just like was Louisiana right next door, bro. I mean, it gets hit, and you guys get hit pretty hard. You know, the Gulf Coast is right there. Here in San Antonio, we get waves of bad weather, but it doesn't get too bad. But I mean, you guys, I mean, you grew up there, man. So I mean, is it kind of common? Are you kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, it's common, or
Nah,
nothing?
dude, right. It seems like every year we get some crazy stuff. Like I remember last year, man, there was another bad storm. Knocked out power for my house for a day and a half or so. I went on a run one time after that storm. Man, there was a whole tree got derooted. It was blocking like three people's
Oh
driveways.
shit!
So now it seems like it happens every year.
Damn,
It's
dude.
either that or we get a bad snow blizzard and it's just
Yeah.
ice on the road.
No, yeah. We get that here every once in a while, man. That's got to be the worst, dude. Because I mean, hell, you can't even drive out there, man. It's so freaking bad. But yeah, man. But of course, I mean, you did compete here in San Antonio. It was for Fury FC, correct?
Yes, sir.
And
63.
yeah, right. And on this one coming up, I mean, it is going to be in Houston. But I mean, can we see you back out after this bout? I mean, are you still going to be fighting like the rest of this year?
Uh, I think this might be the last fight of 2024 for me.
Okay. And is there a reason for that, or are you just taking a break? There you go. I won't tell nobody, bro. I won't say nothing, man. No, but that's good though, man. I mean, of course, I mean, you're still young, man. I mean, the fact that you've already competed this much in so little time. I mean, you have the experience, you have, you have the knowledge. I mean, the fact that you were telling me you're out there, at Tapper Scrap, just trying to get some pointers on how the game works behind the scenes, dude. That's genius, bro. Because I got fighter friends in the UFC, and I'm like, bro, like start getting ready, man. Like start getting into movies, start doing acting, start doing stunts. Because I mean, for the most part, a lot of them go back. They go back to coaching, which is great. But it's one of those voids that they're never gonna fill. But I mean, shoot, man, you get in the film industry as well, that you can make some money, bro. Get paid pretty good.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, I want to stay in the fight game after I retire. I really don't want to coach. If I coach, it'd be like for a drop in.
Right.
Show some stuff. But I don't want to coach full time or anything. But I want to be a promoter.
Okay. Well, that's good, man. And I hope. I mean, obviously, I mean, you were out there with, Peter Morales, man. So, I mean, have you been talking to other people as far as just getting some pointers, I mean, what's this the first time?
I tried to work for a different promotion, and they told me I didn't know shit what I was doing. So I was like, all right, whatever. Let me find somebody else who will work with me then.
You see, man, and that's one of the things, and I get it, bro. But it's just like, I mean, they ask for volunteers, and it's like, they don't want to pay, dude. So it's like at the same time, it's like, well, shit, I mean, you get what you get. Tell me what to do. I mean, I used to back in the day, man. I mean, I used to cover the fights, and promoters would be like, "Hey, man, are you in town?" I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Dude, can you come to the stadium and help us put the cage up?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, hell yeah," and breaking it down after the fight, and it's just something that I did, because I could, but I wasn't like, "Oh man, I want to do this," because it's stressful, man. And one of the things, bro, because I looked at your fight record, and there was a lot of canceled fights, man. I mean, on these, were they kind of like back and forth? Was it because of injuries, or was it your opponent pulling out?
I've only pulled out of one fight. That's because I had a fight scheduled. So I had two fights scheduled at once. It was like
Oh,
fight. It was my second fight, and I was gonna fight like literally the next month after my second fight. So I took two
okay.
L's, And my coach was like, "Man, like I need to pull you. We need to see what's up. Let's go. Let's train more. Let's train more. We just get back on the grind." And I think that's the only one I ever pulled out of. I think everything else was just kind of fizzled, canceled bouts.
No, for sure, man. But I mean, the reason I'm asking is because a lot of times, I mean, you guys are getting ready, cutting weight, getting mentally, zoning in, and something like this happens, and it's like, I mean, it takes a lot out of you, man. You put your body through hell, and now you're like, okay, well, let me sit out and see what else is coming up, or see who else needs a fighter.
Yeah, supposed to be my third fight at Houston Arena Theater. No, not Arena Theater. Bayou City Event Center,
Oh,
where
hell
I'm
yeah,
having my
dude.
11th fight at.
Damn.
So I was to fight my third fight there. Uh, I'm and literally it's like Friday before weigh-ins. I'm cutting weights. I get a no, I wasn't even cutting. I hadn't even started the weight cut yet, but
Damn.
I was on weight. Um, I take a nap and I wake up from my nap and I look at my phone and the first thing that pops up is Instagram and it's Fury's Instagram post of the fight card.
You
So I'm
weren't
like,
on
okay,
it.
cool. I'm
Wow.
looking at it and I'm like, yo, where am I at? Why am I not on the card? So I fight Sunday. I weigh in tomorrow. I'm on weight.
Damn.
And I'm like texting my coach. I'm freaking out. I'm like, yo, I just cut all this. This is my first fight back after my dad had died.
Yeah, man.
So I got big. I cut like 30 plus pounds,
Damn.
and I was just super motivated. I was still 0-2 at the time. I call my coach. He calls Eric. I text Eric. I'm like, yo, what is going on? He tells me my opponent never turned in his medical forms or they were late or whatever. So he's like, show up to weigh-ins. Maybe we can get you a fight. So I show up to weigh-ins on weight, being dehydrated. I was pissed. I was heated. And then I eventually ended up fighting his teammate about 4 months later.
Oh shit. Man, bro. Yeah, man, and that's one of the things. Like, once again, dude. I mean, things happen. I know there was a fight in Corpus, and one of the opponents. I mean, somebody had posted, and they were like, she showed up, and she decided she didn't want to fight, like at the weigh-ins. Yeah, dude. So I was like, damn, dude. Like, I mean, and I've seen that happen a lot, bro. I've seen like, I think it was here for Fury actually, man, where a fighter like they weighed in the next day. They were there at Cowboys Dance Hall, and the guy just disappeared, bro. Like he just left. And then they
Yeah,
called
dude,
the
that's
fight, and the
crazy.
fight is like, and that's like freaking crazy, bro. But it's
People get
just,
that cold feet. Imagine paying like
bro.
you train, like say like even if you put in a half-ass fight camp,
Yeah.
you
Oh
still
yeah,
cut the weight.
he had his family there too, man. That's what's crazy because his family was there. Like, what do you mean he's not here? Like they didn't even know, man. The guy just bounced, dude. And I was like, I don't know what the hell happened, dude. But I mean, obviously he didn't want to fight, and
That's
I
disappointing,
mean,
dude. You let a lot of people down. It's embarrassment.
yeah. No, yeah. It's not for everybody, man. So yeah, they don't want to compete. They can go to jiu-jitsu, right? Or nogi. They can go out there,
Yeah.
which is great, man. Of course, I love grappling, dude. That was my first love when I started training. So a lot of respect for that, man. And I was going to ask you about that too because you said at your gym it's MMA and boxing. Do you guys have grappling out there as well?
MMA grappling.
Okay. So no
But
gi.
a lot like not yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sweet.
So we use a lot of like MMA based
Yeah.
jujitsu.
No, yeah. You see, and I mean, it's smart because it's like with the gi. I mean, you're not doing the same moves. You're not holding the opponent close enough. I mean, where you can get hit. So it does change. It's like combat grappling. You gotta time it. You gotta space yourself correctly and create
Yep.
space and But yeah, dude. I mean, that's great, man. But bro, I mean, of course, this fight, it is going to be coming up, and I was going to put this poster up there. Any of these your teammates?
Yes. Jordan Garcia is the co-main event fighting for the amateur lightweight title. He's my teammate. And then Jay Alderete, main event flyweight title, flyweight championship. So 3 next level boys fighting for 3 titles.
Damn, bro. So of course, you guys are going to fill up that wall, right?
Yes, sir.
Sweet, man, dude. But bro, well, I do appreciate you, man. And like I said, I mean, I did see you out there at the events, but the next time, I mean, of course, if something else is coming up, I'll definitely grab you for a few questions. But
Hey, be out
hope
there
to see
November 1st. Capper Scrap, November 1st.
No, yeah, I'll be out there, man. So definitely, dude, we'll get to go out there and hang out, man. But I appreciate you jumping on here.
Yes, sir, Mario.
Anything else you want to say before we wrap this up, brother?
September 13th, I'm bringing that title home.
Man, hell yeah, brother. Well, man, I wish you the best. Everybody out there, of course. Once again, this is Spida, the Fight Card Podcast. So next time, follow up.